And we are back with another weekly tech news. And this time we are talking about the cryptos.
Crypto. I love the crypto. The crypto is amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's funny because we had a live show last week and Digital Slang was like, dude, Sheba, Sheba's on freaking Coinbase. And I'm like, ooh, what? Sheba is one of the fastest growing cryptos of 2021. And I'm like, wait a minute. I know it's a, as my colleague over here calls it, a shit coin. But the growth is real. The growth is real. I saw the growth from the beginning of the year to now. And I'm just like, can this be on Coinbase? I don't want to do SafeMoon, like how I went from this wallet to buy pancakes and waffles and maple syrup from Canada, and then to buy this one to put it over here and then look it over there. And then to wait. It's just a hot mess. It's like 10 different steps. You like that Canadian comment?
Oh, I got everything.
Maple
I got
syrup.
everything. I got everything.
So you know what? I was actually really excited to see Sheba. Sheba?
Yeah.
I was excited to see Sheba on Coinbase because I was like, cool. I'm like, this is easily accessible. And I had a little hunch, like, you know what? Maybe I'll wait a little bit because everybody's buying, everyone's buying the hype that it just dropped. And there was a huge spike. And then a couple days later, and this is actually a couple days ago, I posted on. So if you guys don't know, Next Level has a group that he posts stuff that he's looking at, stuff that he's researching,
Crypto stocks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I posted in that group saying like, hey, everybody. And I know I don't think I ever posted. I think this might have been like my first post ever on that group. But I think I put a poster that says, hey, everybody, the entire crypto market is down today. Everything is down.
It's on sale.
Or in other words, on sale. Yeah. And I literally said, buy the dip. This was a big dip across the board. There was nobody.
Dips, not the rips. Buy the dips, not the rips.
It was literally, there was nobody that there was no crypto that was in green. Everything was red. Everything was red. And I was like, buy the dip, buy the dip. And typically, you know, we always say we're not financial advisors, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows we don't have a degree in this stuff, but, you know, we all do our research and we all say buy at your own risk. I don't think I was more confident at that time to tell people like, so buy this shit right now. This is the time to buy. And man, it went whoop. It went right back up.
I always tell people, and like literally every conversation about investing, I say this specific thing. I say money moves from the impatient hands to the patient hands, right? Because a lot of times people get scared and they start to buy into things. And then what happens? The people who were in it from before are waiting and they have limit cells set. So when everyone else starts to FOMO, fear of missing out, into an investment, into a crypto, and it starts to go up, then people have their limit cells set and they sell and it starts to come back down. And then the people who just jumped in are like, oh no, it's going down. I have to sell now. No, you don't have to sell. Be patient. Be patient. You'll thank me. I swear crypto will rebound and your bags will get bigger. Elephanitis.
Did you call me a homo?
No, I did not. I would not, maybe sometimes ever.
Oh man.
But I'm just saying, guys, be patient, right? Like, you know what? I had a conversation with, I don't even know what kind of generation you would call this, but it was a 22-ish year old last weekend or the weekend before. And I was like, think about this. Back in the day, like I'm talking like Rojas and our parents' day, they didn't have computers, but they would do investments if they could. And they would have to physically go into a branch, a bank, and sit down with somebody just to invest in some stocks, right? But the mentality back then was, I'm just going to put money into it and then I'll check the account when I retire, right? They didn't care what it did until they retired. Do you imagine if people had that same mentality with crypto? that they just put it in every 2 weeks. They bought $50 worth back when Bitcoin was worth $1. And they're like, I'll check on it when I retire, when it's worth a couple $1,000,000 a coin.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn to be patient. And if we are patient, then we also understand that we only lose on a lot of these investments in two different ways. One, if we're using money that we actually need to pay our bills and our expenses. And two, if we sell at a loss. Like if we purposely sell at a loss. Every crypto, every stock, every investment has patterns. They go up and they go down. They don't flatline. Like this is not like it doesn't just flatline. You have to understand how to dollar cost average. You have to understand the trends and you have to be patient. So, I mean, do your own research, understand what you're getting into. Do not toss your hard-earned money that you need for your bills and your expenses. This is not financial advice. This is logical advice. Anything you do your own research and understand what the F you're doing.
What was the thing that you told me earlier that I was like, what? Are you what?
The what? The what?
And then I was like, why are you talking to me? Start the damn show. You said something about somebody said put $5 away.
So there was a, you know what? Here, I'll share my screen just so we can put this up here. Bear with me. My arm is still broken. All right, so we got the U.S. SEC Chairman Genzler suggests college students start saving early, and maybe they'll get 10% or 8% on their investment, right? So he put out a video that was actually specifically for college students. And in this video, he goes on to say, if you were to save $5 a week and earn maybe 8% starting off while you were in college, you may have 130,000 plus by the time you retire at 65. He goes on in the video to say, instead, if you waited until you're about 40 years old, you would have to put aside $30 a week to get the same numbers. Now, this guy got absolutely roasted on the internet. Majority of the people coming on the behalf of, like, let's say crypto people, right? But for him to throw out the numbers like 8%, what bank held investment is going to give you 8%? Realistically, your savings account is going to give you what, 0.01%?
Yeah.
So where is he getting this 8% from, which is highly unrealistic unless we're looking at crypto investments? Yeah, you might get 8% if you maybe are very, knowledgeable about, let's say, ETFs or, some other form of very specific things, right? But it's very unlikely that the average person is just going to grab I don't know if you guys call them GICs or whatever and get 8% returns. So people roasted the crap out of them. Some of the comments stayed here. This one right here says, why would anyone save money when inflation is 5% and interest is 0.5%? Saving doesn't make any sense when the real returns are negative. 10,000 plus user rewards would be much better off if the SEC would stop de facto banning tokens in the US.
See, the thing is, like, okay, he was the one that said put $5 a week away.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the math on this thing. Let's just do the math on this thing so people could understand exactly. Okay, so $5 a week, which means you're at $20 a month. Just call it. We'll just do an even Steven number. 4 months or 4 weeks in a month. Sometimes it's 5 weeks, but 4 weeks in a month. Okay, if you do 4 weeks in a month, $20, and then you do that for the year, it's $240, right? $240 for the year. Not much money, but it's a start, and that's talking about 1 year. So let's just say you're born, and your parents start putting $5 a week away, and by the time you turn 1 year old, you're at $240. Okay. Retirement is what, 65?
That's what they say, but it's very rare that people are actually able to retire at 65. Let's be real.
Right. Yeah. So let's just say you go all the way to 65 years old, right? Your $240 that you made in 1 year, if you do that for 65 years, you are left with $15,940. $15,600. What can you do with $15,600 when you're retiring at 65? How far does that really get you?
Well, by the time that dude, you're going to open up a whole can of worms if I start having this conversation.
And I'm not
It's
even
not going to do
talking
much.
about. I'm not even talking about inflation. I'm not talking about none of that shit. If we look at that right now, if you're retiring at 65 at this moment of time, $15,600. What can that actually do at this given time?
I'll tell you, it can pay your taxes.
What? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So this is what I've been. I know you and me have had this convo several times. We actually broke it down and we talked about all the different apps. You know, we talked about Robinhood, even Cash App, E-Trade, Trust Wallet, Acorns, Coinbase. We talked about all these different types of investments. So this is why we do these. We try to do this once a month where we try to talk to you guys about certain things. I'll share this one thing on Acorns. If you guys don't know about Acorns, and I think we left links in the description in the past on some of the stuff that we've used, but check it out. Acorns, it grabs your change, it rounds up your change. Let's just say you spend something and it costs you $1.99. It will round it up to the nearest dollar. So that 1 penny, it grabs that 1 penny and it throws it into this app. Let's say you bought something that was $5, $5 even. It'll round it up to the nearest dollar, which means it's one whole dollar. Let's say you buy something else that was $19.50, 50 cents up to the next dollar. It will save those 50 cents. So here's the thing: within the last couple years, I've been able to invest, not that bad, like a decent amount of money on change. And what happens is as the market goes up, my money also goes up with it. If it goes down, then the money goes down, because it's throwing it within investments. When I look at how, what the breakdown is, if I'm just like, okay, how much is this going to be? I'm looking at my projection here. How much is this going to be when I'm trying to retire? What am I going to make? So if I'm looking at $15,600 right now where I'm at, I'm going to be making about $105 a month. That's going to pay me back. And I'm just rounding this down out of $3,000. So if you're looking at 5 times the amount, I'm looking about $500 a month based off of if I have this sitting in there right now. $500 a month. If you still got utilities, when you retire, you're hoping that you no longer have a mortgage payment, but you still got utilities that you got to pay for.
And, taxes and your property taxes and, that all goes with your inflation. So, I listened to a very interesting YouTube video the other day talking about how in the next 50 years, the average home in the United States is going to cost about $10 million. And it was a very interesting perspective, but they didn't just say the average home was going to cost $10 million, but your property taxes are probably going to be around $100,000 a year, right? It's a percentage of the value of the home. So we have to be able to prepare for those kind of futures when they come.
Yeah. So I've always told people, get freaking Acorns, because I've been able to do this for a couple years and I'm already getting a kickback right now at my young age of 40. Right now where it says like my account could potentially get up to like 170, 180,000 by the time I'm 80 years old. 80 years old. Yeah, my monthly will be a little bit more for sure, but I'm not just investing within Acorns. I'm investing within Coinbase, within Webull, within E-Trade.
There's so many different ways.
Yeah.
For instance, over here on the other side of the border, if you guys are in Canada, if you're looking for something similar to Acorns, Simple offers the same kind of programs if you're in Canada. And I kind of wanted to throw this back in that. What the hell was he, a governor or whatever the hell his name was, about the stupid 8%? There are some crypto coins that I'm currently invested in that pay up to 20% interest just for having the coin, right? We're going to be moving into Ethereum going into 2.0 in 2022. And I believe you signed up for
Stake.
To stake it, right? And I think that the starting stake rate just on Ethereum is 5%. Now, what people also need to understand is that it's going to pay you 5% of what you own in Ethereum or whatever the crypto coin is, at whatever percentage it says, over the year. But that doesn't mean that that coin doesn't go up in value or down in value, but up in value, right? So we also have to understand that it's almost like a compounding interest depending on how the markets move, right? And to me, that's better than leaving my money in the bank.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing too is, I know I've staked that, and I'm doing my thing here with this. It's one of the things that's like, I keep having this conversation over and over and over, and I'm pretty sure you've thought about it too, being in a very high demanding city where I'm at in my state in California. It's not cheap. A lot of people leave California because of how expensive it is. And this is one thing I've been thinking about so much. I've talked to my family about it, saying like, you know what? If I could move right now, I could probably buy a house somewhere else where I might not even owe that much. If anything, and you know what? If I did owe, it won't be much. And where I'm at, I could probably pull everything that I got from everywhere and be scot-free, where I don't owe crap for anything.
You know, Preppy and I just bought a house, right? Legitimately 2 hours away from where, I am right now. And that distance of 2 hours, just 2 hours, do you know the houses are 50% cheaper? 50% cheaper. I have a buddy of mine that I went to high school with. I met him in grade 10, and he got into buying his first house when he was really young. This guy just sold his house for living in the same city that I'm in right now and moved to Nova Scotia, which is a couple provinces away. He was able to take the money that he made from selling his house here and buy a house with 13 acres of land completely free, like no payments, like paid off. And I was having a conversation with one of my friends the other day, and I said, listen, a lot of us get held up on certain cities because we were born there and because we're scared of certain changes. And sometimes, the unknown when it comes to, I'm not going to lie, when it comes to societal, how do I say this nicely? Societal stereotypes. Because me moving 2 hours away is a very, very different dynamic when it comes to the people that live there. I'm trying to be very political with me saying this, and I think you understand where I'm going. But, it was very interesting when Preppy and I first started, dating and going out in public. And it was very front for me when I walked into a situation and turn around and be like, I'm the only colored person here. You know what I mean? And then she was like, I never really thought about it like that. But I think that speaking as a colored person, when we end up in certain situations, our stereotypes that we have on ourselves hold us back from getting ahead. And we kind of have to just learn to break our own stereotypes down, because they're not everywhere. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
You ready for the next article?
Yeah, let's do it.
Check this one out. So it's kind of rolling right through from one topic to another, and it's kind of cool. So I wanted to show you this other article, which is related to the SEC again, but it brings in Coinbase. Now, this is directly from Coinbase's website, right? Now, what had happened was Coinbase was working on a feature called Lend, and they were working on this thing for months. And out of courtesy, they reached out to the SEC and they're like, hey, yo, I'm working on this thing, this platform. We just want you to know we're doing it. Right. So the idea of Lend was that you put your crypto in your wallets at Coinbase, and then you were able to, kind of like stake it, and they would pay you an interest, and then they would lend out that crypto and they would make an interest and you would get a portion of it. Right. So it's pretty much like staking. Right. And then the SEC turned around and said, we're going to sue you. And Coinbase said, why?
Yeah, why?
So then Coinbase scrapped it. All that work they put into it, they're like, yo, we don't want no beef. We don't want that smoke. It's done. So this literally happened this month, right? September. So it says, after months of effort by Coinbase to engage productively, the SEC gave us what's called a Wells notice about our planned Coinbase Lend program. A Wells notice is the official way a regulator tells a company that it intends to sue the company in court. A surprise as we were at the SEC's threat to sue without ever telling us why. We want to be transparent with you about the course of events leading up to it. So they're like, why? Like, you're giving us a notice that you're suing us, but you're not telling us why you're suing us.
I don't think that's legal.
Hey, it's the SEC. They do what they want. So this is what they provided. They provided the Coinbase Lend program. It's and they're saying that it doesn't qualify as a security. So a little bit of background. A lot of times you'll hear about, cryptos are being banned. They're being taken off of exchanges and stuff like that. And a lot of times it comes down to the government saying your cryptocurrency is considered a security, right? And when it becomes a security, then it has to follow certain regulations by that government, right? Mm-hmm. So Coinbase is trying to say their Lend program doesn't qualify it as a security. Or to use more legal terms, it's not an investment contract or note. Customers will be investing in the program, but rather lending the USDC that they hold on Coinbase platforms in connection with their existing relationship. And although Lend customers will earn interest from their participation in the program, we have no obligation to pay this interest regardless of Coinbase broader business activities. What's more, participating customers' principals is secure, and we're obligated to repay their USDC on their request. So they're kind of just, I don't know, it feels like it's kind of like a gray area, and the SEC is always going to look for a way to regulate something if they can, right? And because of the way it's kind of worded, even though it's gray, once it's gray, they're just going to be like, yo, we're regulating this shit. I don't know, man. It's just, shit just gets complicated, and it really takes the governments to accept certain programs like this for it to become mainstream. As big as crypto it is right now, we need more government program adoptions. And the more that the SEC starts pushing back on programs like this, is the longer that it's going to take. It's going to be inevitable, but unfortunately, this shit is stupid. This part's good.
Crazy.
It says the SEC has repeatedly asked our industry to talk to us. Come in to the SEC and talk to us. So they're like, Coinbase said, we did that here in this situation. But today, all we know is that we can either keep Lend off the market indefinitely without knowing why, or we can be sued. A healthy regulatory relationship should never leave the industry in that kind of without that kind of bind, without explanation. Dialogue is the heart of good regulation. This blog is like a cry out to the SEC, like, yo, we're trying to work with you. We told you what we're doing. And they're just like, nah, we're going to sue you. Just stop your shit. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's like, it's nuts. We're living in a time right now where we literally, and I was going to ask you this before we started streaming, but we have countries out there that are doing mass adoptions, right? I really want to, I'm really curious because or at least some of your family is from what country?
El Salvador.
El Salvador. And El Salvador is in the news. It was really interesting what happened. El Salvador reached out to the World Bank. This was a few months ago. And they're like, hey, we want to make Bitcoin our official currency. And you know what the World Bank said to them? Do you know? They said no. They said, no, don't do it. No, we don't support you. Nah, GTFO. Really? Right? And you know what El Salvador said? We don't give a F. We're doing it anyways. Right? So a lot of people were like, oh, the day that El Salvador announced it and they just deployed it into their country, crypto sank because of whatever and whatever, right? But it all comes down to, we're just trying to flush out, the people to scare them, right? Because we don't want El Salvador to have this as their official currency. We don't want them to do it. So we're just going to, the big whales are going to pull out and they're going to make the market crash. So now all these people are invested in a whole country and their money is worth less than what it was originally worth. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but the greatest part of what happened after that, do you call him a prime minister or a president in El Salvador? I think it's a president, right?
President.
This G tweeted. You know what he tweeted after this? Buy the dip, because that's what we just did. Like a G. So I was going to ask you, you have family in El Salvador. Have they talked at all about, the adaptation of a cryptocurrency? Like what's going on? Like anything like that?
No, nothing.
Crazy.
I haven't talked to them about it.
I would be really interested if you could find somebody in El Salvador to just give us a perspective from inside that country after the adaptation of Bitcoin. Because I know that they came out with their own El Salvador Bitcoin wallet. Like they all have a specific wallet and things are getting interesting. I've sent you memes with, guys on the side of the road saying they accept Bitcoin. So I'd be really curious to see what's going on. Other countries are kind of like they're dipping their feet in. There was an article that came out in regards to Cuba, and Cuba's like, you know what? We're not going to say it's our official currency, but we're going to say we're going to start, implementing laws to accept it, right? Because a country who doesn't implement the laws is not prepared for the future. So they're saying they're preparing themselves, but they're not going to announce that it's an official currency of the country. So there is some good things that are happening out there. Some really interesting things. It's absolutely nuts. You didn't know like all that stuff about El Salvador?
No.
Some pretty cool stuff. When I saw that the president tweeted that shit, I was like, yo, this is hilarious.
That's
absolutely funny. Nuts.
Buy the dip.
Buy the dip, not the rips, yo. We keep telling you guys. Let me see. What else do I got here?
PS5 just went live again. Yeah, for you guys are still trying to get a PS5, it goes live every day. It's like every day they're dropping stuff, so it's not hard to get one. So just throwing that out there real quick.
Okay, so we're just going to kind of rip through this because I got like 4 more things I want to talk about because crypto is just like, it's so juicy. Like there's such good conversations. There's a lot of, talk in regards to crypto. There's 2 sides of it, people that don't want it to succeed and people who absolutely are bananas for it. I, for one, I like bananas because I'm an ape. I wanted to show you this. I don't know if you saw this, but the day this happened was freaking hilarious. So
Walmart debunks Litecoin payments announcement and 4 other key things that happened in crypto this week. What?
So this happened earlier this month. The official Litecoin, so Litecoin is a cryptocurrency, but the official Twitter account for Litecoin put out a tweet saying, breaking news, Walmart is now accepting Litecoin as a cryptocurrency when you make your purchases. And then like 20 minutes later, they deleted the tweet, but it was too late. It was already on CNN. It was already on all of the big news articles, and it was fake. It was fake. So Walmart had to come out and be like, yo, we don't know what Litecoin's talking about, but we didn't do none of this shit. So if you look at the chart, I'll see if I can pull up the chart for you. But if you look at the chart of Litecoin, you can literally see when the tweet came out and then when it was deleted.
That's actually what I was looking for right now. See what I could find. Coin market cap, Litecoin, huh? Where the okay, number 17, man.
Okay, I got it here. Look at this. So the tweet came out and it went bam. And then it was like, what is going on? And boom. Oh, wait, no, this is it right here. I think this is the tweet right here. The 13th, yes. Because the article, so I'll go back to the article. The article was on September the 13th. I don't know if you guys can see that there.
Jeez.
The 13th. So if we go back to the chart, this is the 13th right here. Look at that spike.
That's
Insane.
crazy.
So the average price of Litecoin before that tweet was about 162. And then when that tweet came out, it went all the way to 223. And then literally like within the hour, it dropped back down to like 178.
That's nuts.
So there was a huge pump because of people wanted to FOMO in and the news ended up being fake. And then people lost their money and they're like, oh,
no, Maria, ¿por qué?
¿Por qué? Why?
That's interesting.
But you know what? For every article that is negative towards crypto, there's always good news like tenfold that comes out. And sometimes you ever heard that statement growing up as a kid when you were in like public school and they were like, oh, for every time somebody tells you something negative, you need 10 people that say something positive to counteract that shit.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with news, right? We see news that comes out on TV or that comes out on the internet and we're like, we always harp on the negative things, right? We end up turning a blind eye to how many positive things are coming out in regards to cryptocurrency. So for instance, I have a perfect example for this. So Litecoin got smashed and then we turn around and Twitter just announced, I don't know if you've seen this one yet. Twitter accelerates again with Bitcoin tips. So now they just announced that they're going to be allowing people through their platform to send crypto tips through Twitter. Positive news for nudes. Oh my God. Positive news for crypto, right? This is great. You like a content creator, a social media influencer. You can just be like, yo, I like what you do. Here's $1 in Bitcoin or some shit, right? So this is some good stuff. Let's see if I can find
it. It's slowly becoming more mainstream where this is going to be the new norm. And people need to jump on this, like, it's not too late. That's the thing. Like remember when the .com happened back in in the late 90s and people just missed that wave and people are like, oh my gosh, remember the .com? And after that, then it's like the housing market, then that bombed. This thing is literally crypto and NFTs.
Yeah. Huge.
Crypto is not, it's not too late to jump on crypto. Yep. NFT is something a little bit newer. And if, man, and like actually this is I've been wanting to talk to you about NFT because I really want to dive into NFTs and get some stuff. Get the eggs, get the paintings. Yeah, dude. It's like I've been looking into them more, going to OpenSea and just like looking at how this stuff works.
Yeah, or NBA Top Shot or whatever.
Yeah, man. I'm just like, you know what? There is a way that if you purchase something for like a couple $100, that you could easily double that money.
Yeah.
And with NFTs, it seems it's like it's easier to do right now because it's so new and young, and people are trying to go crazy over certain things. And there's so many things right now that are just available as an NFT. You know,
And there's
it's
more and
very
more coming out every day.
Yep.
Every freaking day. It's absolutely insane. You have everybody and their mama coming out with their own NFTs.
Yep.
What's his name? The guy from the 70s show. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The main guy?
Yeah, well, yeah, the guy from the 70s show and
Ashton
his
Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher and his girlfriend, and the guy, the main developer from Ethereum, came out with, I think, Stoner Cats or Stoner Kitties, and those
Yeah.
are all NFTs too. Like, it's absolutely insane what's happening. And the more popular NFTs become, is the more certain crypto coins run up. I'm going to say that again. The more popular NFTs get, is the more value there is in certain crypto coins. What do I mean by that? Oh, not all NFTs are done on the same network. So you have NFTs on Ethereum, you have NFTs on Solana, you have NFTs on Cardano, you have NFTs on, I think, DOT as well. But the cryptocurrencies that are able to do smart contracts are right now a lot of the ones that are doing the NFT platforms, but there's more out there. And as you get more and more use case scenarios for these cryptocurrencies, more money is invested and there's more value in them as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, do your research. What affects these cryptocurrencies? What are they doing? What problems are they solving? And what solutions are they bringing in the long run?
Yeah.
So
I'm very interested in that because I was looking how NFTs are working right now. I don't know if you're familiar with the eggs that they hatch.
a little bit. Little bit. I don't know much about it, to be fair, because I haven't gotten into NFTs yet. It's a little bit more riskier, I think, right now, because I don't know a lot about it. I need to learn more about it before I actually drop an egg on it.
Dude, I was looking at this thing. A lot of these eggs, they're not cheap to get, but once they hatch, you make a good amount of money.
Right.
Sometimes you can make more money before they hatch just because you don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
But people are just going crazy with these eggs. I'm just like, man, I've been really debating about, you put in $100. If it doubles, cool. Use that 200, put it something else. If it doubles, cool. And just see how far that actually goes.
Right. Right. This is the evolution of collecting cards, like trading cards, right?
Yep.
You'd buy a certain pack and there would be one special card, hopefully, that you would get in there. And that one card would be worth more than the pack if you kept it for a certain amount of time. This is the evolution of, those kind of things. Now it's, it's easier to transfer the ownership because it's digital and everybody in the world now, you have the accessibility to sell this to. You don't have to physically transfer something from one place to another and, potentially have it damaged and stuff like that. So it's going to be a very interesting era that we're walking into with the digital revolution.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So Twitter says that it's planning to soon explore the support for NFT authentication. This would allow NFT creators to connect to their wallet to Twitter. So you'd connect your NFT wallets directly to your Twitter account in order to track and showcase what NFTs are on the platform. This particular plan is still in the early stages. So this is good news that they're planning on doing this. Another new feature in the space is support for the Bitcoin tipping, which I was talking about. Twitter first introduced its tipping jar feature in May, and it was a beta program allowing users to send and receive one-time payments via third-party apps like PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, and Cash App. Now the feature will extend to global audiences on iOS and Android coming soon, and it will allow tipping with Bitcoin. And I believe that's using the second layer, the Lightning Network layer, Bitcoin Lightning wallet for the addresses and for the tipping. It says that Twitter's implementation of this uses Strike is the platform that they're using to manage the payments. and it shows a couple of the screenshots of what it's going to look like. So you're going to see the option to send, and it'll give you all the options: Cash App, Chipper, whatever, and whatever, and whatever. And then you click on, I think, Strike, and then it gives you the amounts that you can choose, and you would send it over. It's pretty smooth, it looks like, so far. So it's going to be nice to see that implemented. I know as a content creator, I would be excited to start earning some crypto if people wanted to do donations in that way, because I am a big crypto believer.
To the moon.
Oh man, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for where 2022 is coming or going. Going. It's coming, but we're going.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Speaking about coming soon, and speaking about apes and bananas, have you heard anything about AMC?
Mm-mm.
Did you remember a few months ago? This I'll never get this mental image out of my head, but the big shot of AMC was doing what do you call it? A web conference, an interview, and his camera fell, and he went to get up and reposition his camera, and then everyone found out they wasn't wearing any pants during this interview. It was pretty funny, but at the same time, it was kind of fitting because AMC is kind of one of those stocks that was leading the ape army. Everyone's like GameStop and AMC, and we're taking the stock to $100,000. Let's go. Meanwhile, the stock's struggling to get past $100. It hit there and then it came back down, and people are still like ape strong. Hey, if you're an AMC ape, all the power to you. Keep doing what you do. It's your money, how you choose to invest it. I prefer my crypto. That's all I can say. Anyways, so apparently AMC put out a Twitter poll, and they wanted to know what cryptocurrency that they should accept. Let me just blow this up a bit. Is that better?
Yeah.
So Adam Aaron, he says, so fascinating. Dogecoin poll was by far my highest ever read tweet. In 24 hours, 4.2 million views. My most ever retweets. Oh, okay. Most ever replies, 140,000 votes, 77% yes, 23% no. Some people actually went out of their way to say no, don't accept Dogecoin. It's not like we're taking away one of your payment methods to give you Dogecoin. You just being salty to vote no, in my personal opinion, unless you got something completely against Dogecoin for whatever it is.
Well, you say it's a shit coin.
I mean, yeah. Anyways. But if you choose to use your shit coins to go watch a shitty movie, then hey, all the power to you.
Sheba.
It's clear that you think AMC should accept Dogecoin, and now we need to figure out how to do it. He's like, you guys want it? I guess we got to figure this shit out. So that's going to be interesting. So it's cool to see. So I think one of the interesting things during this pandemic that we've been having since 2020 is that there has been such a social media revolution about how the social media can impact the media, can impact companies. And now what the Ape Nation has shown, or the Wall Street Bet Nation has shown, how social media can impact finances and how you deal with your financial, portfolios, and how that, in retrospect, impacts how companies have to learn to move with the times, right? Mm-hmm. Just because they put out a tweet, now they're going to go implement a whole new financial structure. Can you tell me a time before 2020 that this could even be fathomable? Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that insane to think about it? Think about, realistically, everybody who's listening to this podcast or watching this video, Rojas, think about 5 years ago, right? And just think about where you were mentally. Could you imagine where we are as a society right now? Where it comes to crypto and all the applications that we have for investing and all the stuff. Crypto is being implemented by countries and by companies and by people. And it's just absolutely mind-blowing.
It's interesting that you say that because about 5 years ago, maybe 6 or 7, but yeah, more or less. So some of you guys are probably wondering, like, what the hell is that thing? Do you have a neck brace or back brace or something? I'm massaging an area on my back that hurts.
He's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper. And
I got a question.
and I was at the chiropractor's office, and one of my buddies that I haven't talked to in a long time, him and me, so I got hired by a hospital through a temp agency, and he was there working at the call center. And within like not even a month me working there, they're already telling me that they're going to hire me. They're just like, yeah, we're going to hire you, you know? So I was like, okay. I had to wait for my 2 months or 3 months or whatever. So I'm sitting next to him, and I'm just like, dude, like, have you been looking at this Bitcoin and like see what it's doing? And I'm just like, it's crazy. Like I have and I told him, like, I have a feeling that we should probably be putting some money into this thing because it's probably going to be something much bigger than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was at the chiropractor's office just a few days ago, he's like, dude, he's like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever. I'm like, what's up? So we sat down and chat because we haven't seen each other for like in person for a couple of years. And he was just like, man, I remember when we had that conversation about Bitcoin and about all that stuff. He's like, I should have listened to you. He's like, are you still in on that? I'm like, yep. He's like, damn it, I should have listened to you way back then. I'm like, but who would have known?
Who would have known?
Yeah.
Who would have effing known? It's absolutely nuts. I'm sure 99% of you guys that are listening to this conversation have a story about somebody that said something about Bitcoin like 10 years ago. And you're like, I know personally for myself, when I started hearing about it, I'm like, where is this really going to go? Like, and then at first, you tell yourself, this is weird. It's complicated. How do you buy it? I don't got time to really research this crap. And who really gives a shit? Yeah. Honestly. Right? We all had that story and we're all kicking ourselves because of it. All of us, right? I actually just got a phone call a few days ago from one of my cousins. Like I'm sure you can share this kind of similar experience, but like growing up, Rojas and I are both first gen, like, what do you call us? Citizens or immigrants, or like our parents immigrated to these countries and we were born here.
Yeah.
So we're first geners. First geners, right? So growing up, my parents had a decent sized house, and it was almost like there was always people in our house. Like family from back home would come up on vacation, and it was like they all came to stay at our house. Some of them decided not to go back home, and they would end up living in our house. And you know what I mean? Like, and then we would get like loads of cousins that would come in, and we would set up the basement with mattresses, and we'd have wrestling events, and we were all really close as a family growing up, right? Mm-hmm. But then you get into your later life, you become an adult, and you don't talk to them for years. So my cousin calls me, and he's like, hey, I heard from one of our other cousins that you're kind of into this crypto thing. And we ended up having like an 1.5 hour long conversation all about crypto. And I haven't talked to him in probably at least 10 years.
Dang.
It's crazy how crypto is starting to bring people back together. Like randomly, I'm sure you walk into this all the time too, but randomly you'll meet somebody either after a long period of time, or you maybe even for the first time, and you sit down and all of a sudden the conversation is crypto. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden you're like, oh, you know
like,
about
remember?
this?
It's like, remember then?
It's absolutely nuts, man. And everybody, and it comes back to what I was just saying earlier in this podcast, how our parents, or for some of you people in the audience, your grandparents, in order for you guys to invest, or their grandparents or their parents, they had to physically go into a branch, a bank, or whatever. And now all we have to do is download an application on our phone and throw a couple dollars at it, and hey, we got some crypto. Mm-hmm. Like, it's insane. So the whole way money works has completely changed, and it's so cool to see the interest in that revolution bringing people closer together.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
It's cool.
You know, one of those applications that are bringing people closer together is one of them that got a lot of heat beginning of this year, and that was Robinhood. Do you know what made Robinhood really, really popular?
Dogecoin.
100,000,000,000%. I think it was something like 60% of its crypto. If it wasn't their total income, but their total portfolio, it must have been 60% of their crypto portfolio was all Dogecoin. And they did one thing really, really smart in the beginning, and that was getting Dogecoin on their platform before a lot of the other platforms. So Dogecoin started getting big because of Elon Musk, and Robinhood swooped right in there, and they're like, yo, we got to get this on there because it's going to have traffic. It's going to bring people to our platform. Amazing. Brilliant. Absolutely, up to the times. But they got a lot of heat from some other things that we're not going to get into. But Dogecoin pretty much made Robinhood. When you come to retail investments, people that want to, just use an application in the USA to, invest into stocks, invest into cryptocurrency, Dogecoin made this company into a multi-billion-dollar company. So this was just out in the news. It came out actually this week, and it says that Robinhood is testing crypto wallets, currency transfer features, and this was actually on, I think, Bloomberg. So just to break it down really briefly, with places like Robinhood and some of the other places that offer cryptocurrency over here in Canada, there's Simple. Those cryptocurrencies that are bought on those platforms, you don't actually own. Like, they don't give you the crypto wallet keys. You see the dollar amount, but it's held in trust by these companies for you. You can't go and take the cryptocurrency that you own right now that's in Robinhood or that's in Simple here in Canada and go out and purchase something directly with that cryptocurrency. It needs to be sold back into your fiat currency, either USD or Canadian, and then you can go and do whatever the hell you want to do with it. It's just a representation of that actual coin, right? So this is really, really good news when they say that they're testing out crypto wallets, because I'm a strong believer in, if you're going to buy crypto, make sure you own that shit. Nobody else can touch it. Whatever, you have it, it's yours. So it's saying that there's a beta version for iPhone that showed the company's working on some features, that it's testing new crypto wallets and currency transfer features from its app, which should allow customers to send and receive digital currencies such as Bitcoin. This is super dope. So say, Rojas and I want to send Bitcoin to each other. Well, then he can send me his wallet key and I can send Bitcoin directly to him instead of selling the Bitcoin into USD and then transferring the USD in some other way, right? And this just makes so much sense. I'm happy to see companies going in this direction and actually giving crypto the features that they're supposed to have. I thought that was super cool. Yep. Even though I don't like necessarily Robinhood, but news like this means that other companies are going to be implementing features like this to stay up to date. And this is all good, no matter if it's Robinhood or not.
Well, I will say, when I was on my hunt for some Doge, I didn't want to go through Exodus wallet. I didn't want to go through any of these other complicated wallets, because sometimes if you lose some of these numbers, that's it. You lost your wallet. You're done. There's a wallet. This is gonna make you cry, dude. I have a wallet. I don't know how to retrieve it. I also bought stuff using the wallet, and I don't know how to retrieve that. And I probably bought this in about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
I have no idea I can't remember what I bought exactly, and I don't know where it's at right now. I don't know if I'm sitting in like millions of dollars right now in something that I have no idea. Literally, I have no idea. And I've been wondering, like, how the heck am I gonna go and find this stuff? So this was like off of my old computer. as you know, I already reformatted my hard drive, so I'm slaving my hard drive, and all the information was all there. I'm pretty sure I could probably get in there and find out what is where, but like how to log back in and get all that stuff, I have no idea. I literally have no idea.
For sure.
So I remember when I was trying to get into Robinhood, I had a buddy of mine that was just like, dude, hold the line. I'm like, dude, why are you buying freaking Doge? Why don't you get into Ethereum or something that's going to be worth more? He's just like, trust me. He's like, this thing is worth nothing, but it's going to be worth something soon, even if it is a shit coin.
Yeah.
And he was telling me this like a year ago.
Yeah.
And, finally I was like, you know what? Screw it, dude. Like, let me just get into it before this thing really. I'm like, if it does, great. If it doesn't, whatever. Yeah. So at the end of last year is when I jumped the gun, and I remember I was talking to you about it. I'm like, hey, where would I go? And you're like, oh, you probably have to do this and this. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to find something simple. And you were telling me like Coinbase don't got it. I'm like, but I'm like, there's got to be something out there.
Yeah.
And you said, I think you said, have you heard of an app called Robinhood? He's like, I think you guys have something called Robinhood. And I'm like, let me look. And yeah, the second I saw it, I'm just like, okay, buying. And I kept buying and buying. So that's kind of how I got into Robinhood and Doge. I think Doge might be the only thing I have in.
A lot of people just have Robinhood for Doge now. Because of some of the practices that happened in the last year, a lot of people moved out a lot of their investments from Robinhood. And to be fair, even though I'm not in the States, I usually tell people to go with Webull. I've seen people, I'm talking Canadians, that use Webull just for the features outside of purchasing in their application. There are charting features, there are informational tools. We don't have very good applications. Like, remember that conversation that we had about applications, and you were like, your applications suck. I've seen Canadians using Webull just for the information inside of the application because ours suck. Yeah.
Look at that big spike.
Mm-hmm.
That literally just happened in an hour ago.
That Dogecoin?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to show the numbers that I got, but
yeah. There's I guess a lot of you guys know as well. I'm a crypto miner, and I use my computers to mine cryptocurrency. But as a miner, when you're in your networks and your communities, there's two main forms of crypto mining, and I'm not talking about coins specifically, like a specific coin, but you have your people who mine Ethereum. That's all they mine because it's the most profitable coin at this moment to mine. And then you have people that actually mine what's called speculative. Oh my God, I can't speak. Speculative mining, right? And that means that, this coin may be less profitable to mine right now, but we're speculating that the coin is going to be worth more money down the road. And it's going to have more exponential gains than what Ethereum's going to have because it's newer or whatever's coming out or whatever, right? I actually started speculative mining on a new coin that doesn't even have a value yet. You're like, what? It doesn't have a value? Like there's no price on it? Yeah. So a new coin came out in the last month that you can't even buy on exchanges. There's only one wallet that you can actually have this on, and it's their own wallet. And nobody knows if this is going to be a legit thing. And this is where the big speculation comes in. But it's actually called Ravencoin Lite. So it's a fork of Ravencoin. You're able to mine it with your CPU and your GPU, but it's not accepted on exchanges yet. So I mine a couple hundred coins a day, and I'm hoping that I'll build up a little bit of a bag of it, and one day it'll be worth something, right? Because let's be realistic, Ravencoin, Ergo, and a bunch of other coins, they weren't really worth anything when people first started mining these coins. And eventually, they grew into something. When people first started mining Ethereum and Bitcoin, it was worth nothing. Now it's always a chance because there has coins that, have come out and they've disappeared over time, but it's something that you kind of take a chance at. You don't know. And I would rather take a chance at that than earning 0.5% interest on a bank account.
I'm looking at my Ether mine. Ethermine to see, because I think in Ethermine you could do Raven.
Yes, you can. I'm
I don't-
doing Raven, but you can't do Raven Coin Lite on it. Like it's a little bit more of a hurdle that you have to jump through in order to mine Raven Coin Lite.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not telling everyone to go out and mine Raven Coin Lite because it's very speculative.
They're like, do it.
But
Do it now.
I have several computers and I have a rig that mines, and I put my lowest performing computer, which is my son's computer. So when he's at school, it's mining Raven Coin Lite.
Nice.
So yeah, there's some really, really interesting stuff that's happening in the cryptocurrency world. I thought that this was a very interesting episode that covered a lot of interesting topics that happened this month. I had a lot of fun with the conversations, and like I said, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see where we're going in 2022. You know what?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this question before we finish this topic. I really want to ask you this. Because I think every couple of episodes this should be somewhere in the conversation, because constantly, I know I do, but I get people that ask me this all the time. So if somebody came to you, they know nothing, right? All they want to do is put $50 a week into crypto. Can you name some of the coins that you would kind of, blabble off on the top? Blabble? Wow.
Blabble.
Yeah, blabble off the top of your head that you would tell them to go research and put their $50 a week into these coins. Which coins would you recommend?
Which coins would I recommend?
Remember, for them to do their own research, because we're not financial advisors.
I would have to say Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum for sure would be a good one. As much as Bitcoin is very popular, you have to have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money to do Bitcoin, I would say do Bitcoin, but you have to have a lot of money to do Bitcoin. It's going to grow, but it's not going to grow at the rate that you want. Ethereum is at a good spot right now where it is worth a good amount, but not an out where it's not reachable. If you want, and I'm kind of giving people a little bit of a, like, what do you call it? I'm trying to give people ranges, like right now, right at this moment today, Bitcoin's worth 44,000. So when I say like you need to have a lot of money, you need to own either almost a Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin. You need to be able to like be on your way to either having a coin or half a coin at the worst. If you want to see returns with Ethereum right now, it's currently worth at 3,000. That's why I'm saying it's reachable. Where if you really want to put in, you can. I would say, man, I keep looking at Cardano. And I know because of NFTs, I'm trying to learn a little bit more. Cardano is only worth a couple bucks. And it's definitely reachable where you're just like, hey, I'm going to put in like $100, which means you'll own a little bit under 50 coins. If you're like, hey, I want to own a lot of coins, Doge, even though people still call it a shit coin, I would say Doge is a really good one. Not only because it's like a meme coin, but it's in the talks of so many people, and it's right now at the moment it's only worth about 20 some cents, 22 cents,
23, yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so with that one, you could easily be like, well, what if I put $20 on Dogecoin? Well, you're going to own several of these coins. So what I say, Ethereum, Cardano, Doge. And then I like to gamble a little bit. That's why I've tried Safe Moon. That's why I'm trying Sheba, where they're worth not even, they're worth like what, like 10 millionths of a penny. It's like zero. There's your dollar. 0.00. There's your penny. So we're 2 zeros past the decimal. 000, maybe a 1 or a 9 or something, or maybe another 0 and then a 9, or it's like literally like 7 digits down below the 0.
Mhm.
I like those ones because if you're just like, you know what, I have $1,000 that I could just throw in there. If any of those hit $1, just think about it. If any of those hit a penny, if they hit a penny, that's like what is it, like 5 million growth, 5 million percent growth, something crazy, right? So just think about it, So I don't know. I would look at the value of what those coins are. And you know what? If we're not even talking about specific coins, because my favorites or mine that I would like to get into will be different from yours or different from anybody else,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this out as generic as possible. Look at what the current value is and ask yourself if you could afford a coin. If you can't afford a coin, but you're very interested in this one, like Bitcoin, for example, look at the charts. Look at what the chart has been doing within the last month, for the last week, the last 24 hours. Look at what it was doing a year ago or 5 years ago, if it goes that far back. Do your research on on what these coins are doing. And also, this is something that I kind of learned along the way. What are these coins trying to accomplish?
Right.
Some of these coins have very specific jobs that they do.
Right.
Sometimes I don't really care about the job.
Yeah.
That's why I have these gambles that I'm just like, I don't like, these guys don't have a purpose yet. Look at what they're doing and see, and like really do the research on it.
If you actually research a coin specifically, a lot of them have their own website, and on the website, it actually has a roadmap of where they plan on going, certain changes and implementations that they plan on doing down the road. And these are very interesting things that give you information on how your investment could possibly do when you invest in one of these cryptocurrencies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A good prime example is a coin that I'm actually, it's like a lotto play for me. It's a coin called Fun, and it's a casino coin, right? So it's a whole network built on gambling, and it's based on a token called the Fun token. So I bought 40,000 coins of it. And they say that at the end of September, they're burning a good portion of the coins. So that means that they're actually, I'm going to use the word deleting some of the coins that are in circulation. So when the supply goes down and the demand is still there, then the price goes up. So it's a speculative play for me, hoping that those 40,000 coins will go up in value. I think right now it's worth like 2 pennies. So like, whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah. I'm just kind of just holding it, seeing if it does something. It's a brand new coin, came out within the last year, but you don't know where those 2 pennies are going to go.
Yeah.
And it has, so there is a difference, because I know that, Rojas likes to rub it in my face that I say that Dogecoin is a shit coin and Sheba is a shit coin. But when I look at things like Fun token to me is not a shit coin, because it's actually being used to actually purchase things through travel websites and to be used as like gambling in casinos and all that kind of stuff. So it actually has a purpose. Now, just because I call something a shit coin doesn't mean that it's not going to run or it's not going to have a value. It just has to have a very specific chain of events for those things to go up in price, right? Mm-hmm. If I was to tell people what other coins to do their research about right now, not in any particular order, but I have always loved Ethereum. I do also like Cardano, and I do think that within the next 6 months or so, Cardano is going to see a good 300 to 400% run. Cardano, depending on the platform that you buy it on, does also offer roughly about a 5% interest rate. So that's really cool. If you want to just hold a bag of Cardano, you get paid in interest. A lot of my coins that I'm really big on actually offers an interest rate. And it's one of the reasons I like holding them, because not only do they go up in value over time, but they pay you that interest rate. And one of them is Solana. Solana, I was started, buying bags of Solana when it was down around $20 to $40. And Solana had a huge run, and it came back down a little bit with the rest of the crypto market. But Solana ran all the way from $30 to $200. It was insane. There's some pretty big runs in Solana. Another one that I like to tell people about is one called Tezos. And Tezos pays about 5% interest. But the cool thing about Tezos is that I kind of call it like a dividend crypto, because it pays that 5% interest every 2 or 3 days. So you open up your account, you open it up, and you're like, oh, you just got a deposit of whatever Tezos. And it's kind of fun. You know what I mean? Oh, I just got some free money just for doing nothing,
Yeah.
There's one called Cosmo or Cosmic, and the coin is called Atom. And I do think that coin is going to be running from somewhere between, like, right now it's worth about $35, $40. And I think it's going to be running to about $100. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but these are coins that I'm pretty interested in. So I usually tell people, another coin that I have right now is called Ontology. Ontology is, honestly, I can't even remember what they do, but all I know is they pay me 16% in interest. And I'm like, I'm down for 16%.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting concept when you start to look outside of, okay, this is Bitcoin. I've heard of Ethereum. There's thousands of other coins out there, and you never know like what the goal is, what they're planning on doing, where they're going to run to. And it's almost like, if you're passionate about something, there's a cryptocurrency coin or token that's being built around your passion. Like there's a coin right now called Senzo, and Senzo is built around the music industry. It's where you can actually virtually through VR remote into a one-on-one experience with a recording artist. And when you go in through VR, you can watch them do this performance with you, and you can move around the room and purchase NFTs.
Interesting.
It's a really interesting topic. Like, honestly, I'm not doing it any kind of, justification. Just go on YouTube, type in Senzo, and watch the YouTube video. It has a lot of interesting artists already backing it. Now, I'm not telling you to go buy bags of it. I'm just saying that I'm using this as an example. There's so many different projects being built all around cryptocurrency that whatever you're interested in, I challenge you, find a cryptocurrency project that's built around your passion. Some of the other ones that I'm interested in, just really quickly, is Dot as well. I think Dot's pretty cool. Matic. A lot of people are big on VeChain, and there's ones called Neo out there, which is like, some people would call it your Chinese Ethereum. So there's just so many different coins out there. At the end of the day, one of the biggest things I tell people is that it all comes down to how much time you want to spend on it. If you don't want to spend a lot of time doing research, then pick Bitcoin or pick Ethereum and just do $50 or $20 or $5 or whatever you can do on a regular basis. If that's weekly, if it's bi-weekly, is it monthly, whatever you can afford that doesn't affect your expenses to live, and just put it away. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at it. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There is a lot of stuff that we talked about. Man. Yeah, there's so much stuff, there's just so many options out there for you guys to better prepare yourself for the future. You do have to make a little bit of investment, and there is a risk of losing. There's always a risk. There's always a risk on losing. But you almost have a better chance in some of these coins and cryptos and NFTs than putting in a 401k or putting it in a savings account with your bank that's going to give you like 0.01% increase. You might as well just go get a stock now from somewhere like Disney and just let it sit there for the next 20 years, because that stock's going to go up no matter what. So There's all kinds of different avenues out there. There's all kinds of different stuff for you guys to look at. And, you know, we want to help as many people as we can. Again, it's a risk that everybody takes, and it's a risk that you should know that you're taking before you actually take it. And it could be a risk in your favor or against your favor. So, any last words you got to say Next Level before we get out of here?
Do your damn research. I mean, yo, as always, yo, we appreciate everybody that, you know, supports what we do just by doing simple little things like listening to our podcasts, watching our videos, liking, subscribing, and leaving those dope ass reviews wherever you listen to our podcast so that other people like yourself can find the content that you enjoy. If you want to do anything for us, that's literally all it takes. Just hit that like, that subscribe, reshare a link or two, and leave us a review. That way more people like you get involved in the community over here on Beyond the Streams. And if you guys want to interact live with us every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, come out to YouTube on the Beyond the Streams YouTube channel and be a part of the conversation, be a part of the community, and interact with the conversation that are happening live on the YouTube channel. So thanks again. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Oh, show. Yeah. And for those of you guys who don't know what a review is, leave us a comment if you are on the good old YouTube side. We are always here and available. We got our Telegram groups. We're easily available, guys. We're all over the place. So we appreciate you guys for stopping by, listening to our BS, and we will be back soon for some more BS. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.